All right,
That's
so
glaringly apparent.
my review of the day is going to be for the Holdovers. Holdovers is the new Alexander Payne movie. Alexander Payne, you might remember him. He's directed such movies as Sideways and The Descendants. Here he has Paul Giamatti, who was also in Sideways as well. And Paul Giamatti is one of our great character actors. Has been in many great films, and I don't think he's ever, to me, ever delivered a bad performance in anything he's ever been in. He's always delivered really great stuff.
Uh, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, that was Amazing Spider-Man 2. I wouldn't put that on. That's not his fault. So in this film, the movie The Holdovers is the name of kids who get stuck behind in school when, winter break happens, when a holiday happens, and then their parents can't come to pick them up. They just end up staying at the school over the holidays, and that's what happens to a group of young men. Is their parents don't show up. And this is a very privileged school as well. So a
Mm.
lot of kids that go here mostly rich kids. Their parents are off, jet skiing and on extravagant holidays and things like that. And then they, maybe they come scoop up their kids, maybe not. Um, and then you have, like I said, these group of kids who are being held over, and Paul Giamatti, who's the teacher in the school, who is known as just being the biggest asshole in the school. Like teachers hate him, the kids hate him, the staff hates him. He's just a curmudgeon guy who's incredibly hard on the kids, very strict. And he's the one that gets dealt with the task of being in charge of them. And you see that, when he's in charge of these kids, they kind of start to go one by one. Well, actually, a group of them go because one of the parents comes late to pick them up. And you see over the course, because they're doing it all through winter break up until New Year's Eve, you see that he's kind of taking care of them, watching after them. And one that he forms a really bond with is a kid named Angus Tully, who in this is played by Dominic Sisa, who's in this. You see him in the trailer a bunch here. You also have Devon Joy Randolph, who you've probably seen in a bunch of things as well. She's really blowing up and been in tons of stuff like Only Murders in the Building and Dolomite is My Name. She was also just recently. We don't really probably want to talk about this, but she was also just recently in Idol. Uh,
Fuck that show. There we
yeah,
go.
she was in that as well. Actually, even though I hate that show, her and what's her name, Rachel
Oh,
Sennett, were
oh, yeah.
the only two things I liked about that
They
show.
can do no wrong.
Yeah. So yeah,
Also,
and
so.
Divine Joy Randolph, she's the cook. She's the cook of the school, and she's also a grieving mother. Her son died in the war, and this is set during the '60s because it's the Vietnam War that her son dies in, and her son was able to attend the school only because she worked there. So she has kind of a lot of grief that she's working to as well, while she's also staying over for the at the school for the holidays. So yeah, that's kind of the basic setup of this film here is you kind of have, this kind of little bit of comedic setup of, these kids, especially the one kid who's, stuck in this school with the one teacher he hates, and how they kind of get along. Are they going to end up killing each other? You know what I mean? Before, this break is over. And it's a very emotionally sweet film,
Hmm.
and heartfelt film. It's actually a good film, probably you want to see maybe for the holidays. This being kind of set in Christmas time, because it deals with a lot with family. It deals with a lot with love. It deals a lot with heartbreak, um, and kind of overcoming those things and kind of confronting those things. And to see kind of them kind of get into all these kind of different misadventures and them growing to understand each other more and more. And just Paul Giamatti's character of like what made him the person he is also very interesting, that I like quite a bit of also watching. And it says here, I'm trying to look for the actor. I guess he doesn't have any other credits here. Dominic Sisa here doesn't have really any other credits, I don't think. But yeah, this is, I think, his first film, and he does an amazing job in it. He does really great. He holds his ground, especially with a veteran actor like Paul Giamatti, which is tough to do. So I think he's also fantastic at this, and get to learn more stuff about him and about his family, because his family, other parents, they come pick up there and he's just left there all alone, you know what I mean? And he's just sad as fuck. And to see kind of what he does, and you see what made him the person he is. Because he's a smart kid, but he kind of does a lot of lying, does a lot of cheating, kind of does a lot of scamming. He's kind of, constantly they call him a little shit, and he can be a little shit at times. But you kind of see, again, what made him the way he is, and he kind of has a reason for those things, which I kind of liked a lot.
Mm.
So I think this was a very enjoyable movie. Great performance from Paul Giamatti as well. I think maybe I could see him being up there if this movie kind of sticks around, awards getting a nomination, maybe. Divine Joy Randolph, I think, does a really great job here. Best supporting actress, I think I could see her getting that. If even though there's no other real major actress in the film, I could see her getting maybe a best supporting because right now best actress is kind of loaded. There's a lot
Mm.
of really really good
Oh yeah.
competition there, but maybe for best supporting nom, I could definitely see that for her. I think she's fantastic in this movie. So really, you just mainly see the three of them: Paul Giamatti, Dominic Sisa, and then Divine Joy Randolph in this movie. That's what you're mainly seeing. I think they work fabulous together. And yeah, I think this was a really good movie, and I really enjoy watching this. So I think Alexander Payne, who I haven't seen most of his catalog. I've only ever seen, Sideways, and I think I did see The Descendants. And
Mhm.
I love Sideways. I think Sideways is
Yeah,
either.
yeah. I'm not crazy about Sideways or about Schmidt, but I absolutely loved the Descendants as far as that guy's journey, and of course, can't speak enough of that led the dean from Community becoming an Academy Award winning writer.
Oh yeah, that was a great Oscar moment there. I thought, yeah. So yeah, I had a really great time watching this movie. I think it ends really well. And yeah, you'll go through the feels,
Mhm.
definitely watching this, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, I would give it peak for me, with the holdovers.